explain what it is we're trying to accomplish here in Ohio with the RLCOH is to explain my experience last month at the National Convention for the Republican Liberty Caucus. It was in Nashville, New Hampshire. It's the most successful national convention they've had to date, due in no small part to some wonderful speakers, two of which were Senators Rand Paul and Ted Cruz. And I mentioned them in particular because they happen to be number 1 and 2 in the straw poll voting that took place. So if that gives you an idea as you're getting acclimated to what the RLC is all about, what their values are about, they were 1, 2, Rand Paul and Ted Cruz in straw poll voting. Wonderful speeches that they gave as they give every time they speak. But there was a wonderful presentation also in Keynote that I want to highlight for you. There was a conversation in Keynote around the liberty movement in general. And it started off with the very simple statement that we are winning. It was a positive message, because all too often we hear negative messages about how we're being beat up as a liberty movement. It was a wonderful positive message that we are winning. Don't know that I exactly buy it at the beginning of the speech, but we are winning. And they gave evidence to that effect. And they gave evidence to that effect by speaking about this wonderful coalition. I love this phrase. They called it the Leave Us Alone Coalition. And what they said was, we are successful as a liberty movement when we see a successful coalition building, namely this Leave Us Alone Coalition. Now, if you wonder what the heck does that mean, picture, if you will, sitting in Southwest Ohio, an anti-Common Core, education, freedom mother. That's been her mission in life, is to bring more local control to government, parental control, and free our teachers to be able to do what's right for our students. That's her mission in life. Now picture, if you will, sitting in Central Ohio, a pro-Second Amendment man. Young man, not married, no family, maybe has no plans to have any kids. Doesn't really think about the education movement much. But that pro-2A man realizes that in order to be successful in what he wants to do, he needs to have the back of that anti-Common Core mom. And that anti-Common Core mom, who's fighting for education rights in Southwest Ohio, may not own a gun. May not really think too much about gun rights, and it's not her cup of tea. But she understands that in order to further liberty, the way she sees needs to be done for herself and her children, that she's got the back of anyone who espouses gun rights. Now add to that the taxed enough already crowded liberty groups across the state, small business owners who are fearing oppressive regulation and how it's creeping into our everyday lives, civil libertarians. As you grow this group, this Leave Us Alone coalition becomes a formidable force. So, when they started with We Are Winning, they more importantly said the way we continue to win is to grow this Leave Us Alone coalition. So my question of you today, before we get into the heart of today's agenda, and more importantly, football, are you part of the Leave Us Alone coalition? Not for its own sake, because we're selfish, and because we want it all me, but we understand that morally, it's the only way to run a society. We understand that if we want the economic and moral well-being of a society, it needs to be organized around liberty. And because of that, we've got each other's back. If you want to be part of that coalition, we hope that you will join us at the Republican Liberty Caucus of Ohio.